Hello, I'm Ranka from EasyDebtCollecting.com. Today we're going to talk about preparing a repayment debt plan. Lots of people ask me what's the best way to do it. Well, if you're serious about repayments and getting rid of your debt, you're going to put a little bit of planning and a little bit of effort into doing it properly. What are the steps in doing a repayment plan? First of all, you have to do an analysis of your situation at the time of doing the payment. You have to know exactly how much money you have to repay. So you have to have a list of all your outstanding accounts, dates, total, how long it had been outstanding for. You have to have your budget. You have to know exactly how much money you can play with and how much money you can repay. Do a little bit of planning. Think about it. Do not commit unless you're sure that you're going to stick with it. It has to go both ways. So if you need to get money paid, you have to think about your situation as well. The payment agreement has to be in both interests. It has to work for both parties. Put a little bit of planning. Talk about it. Make agreements. Come halfway. Discuss it. But make sure it works for both. Once you have done the analysis and you know how much you can commit yourself to, you have to do the schedules. Think about the regularity of the payment. It's very important. Be very specific. The more specific, the better. Why? Because it helps both of you, the creditor and the debtor, to plan and budget. The repayment plan might go for a couple of months. It might go for a couple of weeks. It might go for a year. Just depends on your circumstances. But be specific. Put the dates down. The months. Sometimes even the time. If you're paying with a direct bank payment, if the payment is scheduled for tomorrow and you pay after 5 or 6 o'clock at night, it would go the day after. Make sure the time is right. Make sure the time is correct. Put everything down in writing. Make 2 copies and stick with it. The next step is to think about the methods of payments. If you're forgetful, why not have the payment directly from your bank account? That helps. All you need to do is just make sure you've got enough funds to cover it. If you're paying with a credit card, you have to make some inquiries. Think about the extra charges involved with payments with credit cards. There are merchant fees. If your debt is big, the merchant fees, the percentage would be quite large as well. Talk about all of these details before you commit to a plan and put it in writing. It helps both. At the end of the day, both a debtor and a creditor want the payments done, want the debt gone. The next step is regularity. Just make sure you stick with it. Why is it important? The creditor needs to increase trust in you. or get trust back. When you pay regularly for a certain time, it increases the trust. It improves the business relationship. And why is it good for a debtor? Well, it increases good habits. It does. You do one thing for 6 weeks regularly, it becomes a habit. So it decreases bad habits and increases good habits. Regularity is one of the keys in doing payment plans. The next thing is you make sure that you actually record every single payment. You get a receipt or you send a statement to a debtor. You just make sure it's recorded properly. If any problems down the track, and chances are there could be, just make sure you phone in advance, not after the payment is due, but in advance. Talk about it. Talk, discuss, and agree on. A creditor would be happy to help out. At the end of the day, you both want the same thing. You want the bad debt gone, both of you. All you need is to agree on the timeline it will happen. At the end of the repayment, make sure you get some kind of receipt, a statement, where it says that the debt is completely gone and repaid. And wait, there is one more step. This is one of the most important steps in the whole exercise of repayment of bad debt. Just think hard and honestly, what contributed to you having a bad debt like this? Just think about it and summarize. The most valuable lesson you're going to learn out of the whole exercise is actually what you've done wrong. And there is one more step. Just make sure you don't do the same thing again. Happy debt collecting.